The neon sign of the MCM Elegante Hotel in Beaumont, Texas, flickered faintly in the humid October night. Inside, the air conditioning hummed steadily, barely cutting through the southern heat. It was a typical evening in the oil town, quiet, unremarkable. Gregory Fleniken was the kind of man who left no trace. A 55-year-old oil and gas executive from Louisiana, he kept to himself, traveled often for work, and liked routine. He checked into room 348, ordered a movie, ate a Snickers bar, smoked a cigarette, and locked the door behind him. And then, he died. The next morning, his wife Susie grew worried. Gregory never failed to call her. She rang his phone. No answer. She called the hotel. A maid was sent to knock. No reply. Hotel security opened room 348. Gregory was lying on the carpet between the bed and the wall, face down, fully clothed, his legs tucked neatly under him. No blood, no mess, no signs of a struggle. The local police arrived, took a quick look, and figured he had suffered a heart attack. The scene looked peaceful. Natural causes, they said. They were ready to close the file, but Susie wasn't. The body was sent to the coroner. Dr. Tommy Brown, the forensic pathologist, was expecting something routine, but what he found stopped him cold. A torn scrotum, a broken rib, a lacerated liver, massive internal bleeding, and a clean, circular hole inside the chest cavity, like a bullet had entered from nowhere. And yet, no external wound, no blood, no bullet. What kind of death did that? A lightning strike? A fall? None of it made sense. Dr. Brown called the police. This man, he said, was murdered. With police making no headway, Susie turned to a private investigator, Ken Brennan, a former DEA agent turned freelance detective. The kind of guy who wore jeans and carried a badge no one could revoke. He met with the local detective Scott Apple, and together they walked through room 348. The bed was made. The remote was on the nightstand. A cigarette had burned halfway in an ashtray. Gregory had clearly been relaxing when it happened. But what struck Brennan was the position of the body. Gregory had collapsed suddenly. Something had hit him, fast, deadly, but invisible. They pulled the autopsy photos again, that clean, round hole in the chest cavity. Brennan stared at it. That, he said, looks like a bullet wound. Brennan canvassed the hotel. In room 349, directly next door, he found two traveling electricians. One of them, Lance Mueller, had been drinking heavily the night of Gregory's death. He even admitted to something odd. His gun had gone off. Just once, just an accident. They laughed it off, thought the bullet had hit the floor or lodged in a wall. No harm done, Mueller had told hotel staff. Brennan and Apple returned to room 348. They moved the furniture, pressed along the shared wall, and there it was, a small hole, patched over and painted, but unmistakable. When they lined it up with the position of Gregory's body, it was perfect. The bullet had entered through the wall, hit him in the chest while he was lying on the bed, and caused massive internal injuries, without ever leaving his body. Gregory must have sat up, confused. He hadn't even realized what had happened. No blood. No obvious pain at first. He took a step or two, collapsed, and died within minutes. It was the perfect locked room mystery. The door had been locked, no one had entered, no weapon had been found, and yet he was dead by gunshot. When confronted, Lance Mueller confessed. He'd been playing with his pistol, drunk and careless. He thought the wall would stop the bullet. He never meant to kill anyone. But intent didn't matter. A man was dead. Mueller was charged with manslaughter. He served a brief sentence, far shorter than many expected. Gregory's death was officially ruled a homicide by gunshot wound, and Susie finally got her answer. But even now, people still wonder, what if Susie hadn't pushed? What if the coroner hadn't looked closer? What if Ken Brennan hadn't noticed that tiny hole? Gregory Fleniken would have been just another obituary in the paper, natural causes. Instead, his case became one of the most haunting and bizarre true crime stories in modern history.